Hello, hello. I'm back with another stream. This one is going to be more of like a vlog that I'm doing as a live stream so I can just talk as I go. You will notice the chat is off for this particular one. This one's not a chat stream. I just want to be able to answer some questions that I've got occasionally from viewers. And this particular topic, I also don't want to get interrupted or have people argue with me in the chat because I have a feeling, well, I know for sure it would happen because I've already had some random people show up in my stream and start like going on about this stuff out of nowhere. But the question I want to answer today, it's a pretty divisive one. It's really touchy for some people. I thought about if it would be a good idea to even talk about it, but I do want to honestly answer people's questions, okay? And obviously I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I'm going to answer the question, and I just implore you to listen to my full answer before anyone possibly listening gets upset, okay? The short answer, am I religious or political, is no. But I'm going to tell you why, okay? The biggest reason is because those things are very, very divisive. I mean, religion and politics, they tend to go hand in hand, and they can be a very, like I said, ugly and divisive couple. And I have actually researched, on the topic of religion, I have actually researched a lot of the religions to see if my individual beliefs happen to align with any of the many existing organized religions. I mean, I read about Christianity, I read about Satanism, I read about Buddhism, I read about Middle Eastern religions and even Wiccan, but I don't align fully with any of them. Now, that's not to say I didn't agree with some of the things from each of them. They all had like something positive to offer, but just overall, especially the ones that have like the, like the supernatural stuff, I just could not fully align. And I say fully align, and this is a really major point that I'm going to describe to you, because how many of us know, I'm sure we all know somebody like this, right? Somebody who puts themselves off to be as a devout follower of their specific religion, but they don't follow it all the way like they should. I mean, they go to church several times a week. They try to recruit people to go to church with them. They have Bible study. They're always talking about their religion and beliefs and stuff, but they also happen to do things they're not supposed to do. Okay? I'm talking things like premarital sex. You're not supposed to do that, right? I'm talking about pleasuring themselves. That's a sin according to their faith, right? But they still do it, and they'll just say something like, "Oh, I know that's not right. I'm working on it." But no, you don't get to say that though. If you're a follower of that, you're supposed to follow it all the way. You're not supposed to like pick and choose which sins you don't want to do, and then you know what I'm saying? It's real hypocritical, and I don't like when people do that. I mean, I don't make a big deal about it either. Don't get me wrong. But we've all met people like that, right? I would not do that. I would not want to be a hypocrite. I would not just like pick one of them and then not fully follow it. So the fact that none of them fully align with my own individual beliefs all the way around, that's why I say I'm not religious. It doesn't mean I don't believe in anything at all. It doesn't mean I think that there's just nothing out there, or things don't happen for a reason and vice versa. I'm a bit of a spiritual person, but here's my biggest problem when it comes to this, okay? And this isn't my problem, this is other people's problem. This is why I wanted to bring this part up right here. I am always respectful and accepting of anybody else's beliefs, whether it's religious or political. I don't care if you worship God. I don't care if you worship the devil. I don't care if you worship multiple gods or an inanimate object at your house or even some made-up creature that you see as a god. And I don't even if you're atheist, you don't believe anything at all, I will give you the same respect and acceptance for your beliefs that I should as a fellow human being. The issue is that most other people don't return that respect and acceptance to me as a fellow person, simply because I don't believe the same thing that they do. And that's where it's wrong. That's where it's wrong. That's where I have a personal issue with, okay? Because, I mean, how uncomfortable is it? How uncomfortably stressful is it for society to just throw that on you, right? Okay, so there's a bunch of different religions in the world. You can only pick one. Make sure you pick the right one, though, because if it's not the same one as me, we've got problems. I'm going to pity you. I'm going to be mad at you. Or what about this? How many of them say, if you don't choose the right one, you're going to suffer eternally? What the hell is that? What? Pick the right religion, but if you get the wrong one, you're going to suffer eternally. What? Like, just think about how crazy that is. Just on, like, face value, how crazy that is. This is my other big issue when it comes to that right there. Because that's cult-like behavior, for one thing. And for another thing, when you hear about religion, it's supposed to be, to my understanding, it's supposed to be all about, peace, love, eternal bliss, right? So why would they need to scare you into joining it? Why would they need to go door to door and threaten you with eternal suffering if you don't join them? I mean, doesn't that sound like a cult? If this is about peace, love, unity, and eternal happiness, why would they need to use fear and threats? Why would they need to do that? That's not right. They would just, let people join it, and that would bring the right people in. Like, you shouldn't have to do that, and it's crazy that they do. I mean, that's a huge red flag for me. I don't know about anybody else. But when somebody tries to threaten me into doing something or demand I do it, I will always rebel against it because I know that's wrong. If it's the right thing, you don't need to scare somebody into it. You don't need to threaten them into doing it, okay? You use love and kindness. You don't use fear and anger. That tells me right there, it's the wrong thing for me. In politics, it's the same way. And again, I don't care if somebody is on this side of the fence or that side of the fence. You're a person to me. You're entitled to your beliefs. But I do have a problem if somebody comes up to me, for example. Not saying this happened, just as an example. It's like, hey, buddy, what side of the fence are you on? Are you this side or that side? Because I'm on this side, and if you're not, then you and me are enemies. Or how about this one? Who are you voting for? Oh, I actually don't vote because I've never voted and I don't plan on voting. What? This is the most important election in history. You're doing your country a disservice. It's like, okay, that's your opinion. You know what? I'm going to let everybody else out there research the candidates and vote, and I'll just do my thing, okay? Because I don't watch the news and I don't follow politics because it's so negative and divisive, and all it does is poison people's minds. And I think one thing we can all agree on, at least, no matter what you believe, we can all agree on what I'm about to say. The divisiveness of politics in particular has reached an all-time high right now. I have fans from other countries making comments to me like, wow, Primal, the United States sure seems real divided right now. Looks like you're going to have another civil war. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're wrong. But I wouldn't know because I phase that stuff out because that's what happens, man. People get wrapped up. They let the news make them scared and angry and sad. Those are all bad feelings. I don't like those feelings. I like to listen to music and I like to feel good and be happy. I like to watch comedy videos that make me laugh because, call me crazy, but I'd rather laugh than be angry. I'd rather be happy than scared. Again, I must be crazy for that, right? I have control over what I watch and listen to. And I don't want to listen to a bunch of elected politicians fighting like gang members. That's not what they're elected for, right? That's not what the constituents want from them. We don't want them to call each other terrible names. We don't want them to try to incite violence against people on the opposing side if you see them in public. That stuff's all crazy, man. And both sides do it. They all do it. They're all doing it together. And it's just like, it's going to continue escalating to worse and worse violence. It's going to continue poisoning people's minds, and they're going to go out and commit crazy acts of violence. It's going to continue that route. But you know what? That's why you don't hear Primal on here raging about politics, because I know better. I just tune it out as best I can. and that's why, man. It's because it's just at a really bad point, and it's getting worse. And I've tried to warn people about this for a while now. I even have a little joke I came up with, man. And I know one came before the other, but is it any coincidence that the two-party system of the United States, their colors are red and blue, just like the street gangs, the Crips and the Bloods? Is there any coincidence? Because they kind of act like gang members, don't they? Cussing at each other, threatening each other, wanting to see violence. The thing about politics with me is it seems to me in a nutshell that one side wants to change everything. The other side doesn't want to change anything at all. I mean, I think the logical thing is that there needs to be a happy medium. Some stuff should change, especially with the times, right? Some stuff should be changed, but other things should be left alone. But they can't agree on anything. All they do is fight. And it's crazy. It's like, I don't really enjoy watching that or listening to it. It's bad. And again, I don't like anybody trying to force me to pick a side. Okay? Don't tell me what I should believe. Don't tell me what I should follow. Here's the thing about Primal here. Okay? I think for myself. I walk my own path. That's the bottom line. That's my most simplified answer to why I'm not religious or political. Okay? I don't need a 2,000 plus year old book, the Bible, to tell me how to live my life. It was written by what, like 12 people, I said? I don't need 12 people who lived over 2,000 years ago to tell me how to have a moral compass, because I have a brain and I have my own. I don't need a guide on how to live. I don't need someone else to tell me what path to walk in life. Okay? My parents raised me as a child. I'm an adult now, and I can think for myself, and that's what I like to do. I live my own life. I walk my own path. I have my own beliefs. And again, I do believe in some stuff. I don't believe in supernatural stuff. I do believe in abstract things. Okay? Abstract meaning it exists in your mind, like you can't physically see it, but it's not like it's not supernatural like a man in the clouds. But as far as fate goes, not necessarily like predetermined things, just like fate, the abstract force of fate. You want to be in good terms with fate. The energy you put out into the world will come back to you. Okay? So if you're a jerk all your life, that's going to come back to you. If you're kind and loving, that's going to come back to you. It's kind of like karma, but not necessarily, because some people think of karma as like this force that will pay you back for what you do. It doesn't necessarily work like that. It's more just, to me, it's like energy, man. We can put out energy and emotion, and you will get back what you put out. And that's all I'm asking out of my fellow human beings, okay? I accept you for what you believe. I want to be accepted for what I believe, okay? I just want people to respect me for thinking for myself and walking my own path. If you want to walk somebody else's path, if you want to follow somebody else's guidelines, you want to align to something else, that is totally fine, and I respect you for it. I'm not insulting anybody by saying, oh, wait, you picked a religion instead of thinking for yourself. No, man, you do you. Just let me do me. All right? Don't be like the knucklehead who rushed into my live stream the other day asking me if I was his religion, and when I said no, he starts typing in caps and getting crazy and trying to attack me. That's the first time I've ever had to throw somebody out of a live stream chat. I didn't even know how to do it. He was laughing as I was like trying to be like, how do I do this? I was like, it's not a bad thing, man. I'm glad I don't have to throw people out, but he just went in there looking for trouble, trying to divide, and the irony of it is that his faith is allegedly one of peace and love, And here he is rushing in there, just trying to divide everybody and instill feelings of anger and hatred and just trying to ruin the stream. It's ironic, isn't it? Where's the peace and love that your faith is supposed to be about? Maybe you're just a really bad representative of it. I don't know. But again, I simply am not religious and I am not political. I will leave the politics to the politicians. I will leave the voting to the citizens who do research the candidates and votes. And I respect them for that. I appreciate them doing it. So I can just focus on my positive world and keep trying to make the positive impact that I do with my videos, because that's what I strive for. I like positivity. I like inclusivity. And I like to encourage people to think for themselves, to think outside the box. My philosophy, which I call the big picture perspective, that is my universal thinking. I always try to look at things from the big picture perspective. I don't just try to look at a small-minded scale. I try to look at the whole scene and evaluate it and then make a decision, you know? And it's like, it's not just that. It goes along with my decisions throughout life together. Like, let's even use, like, not using deodorant, for example. You know, society says you're supposed to use that, at least in my country. But it's like, I find it unnatural. I was raised to use it, but it had adverse effects on my skin. It made it itchy. It gave it a rash. I didn't like the cold, wet feeling of it, putting it on. I don't like the way it smells. So I'm not going to use it. Just because society says you're supposed to do this doesn't mean you have to do it. I live my way. I don't use it. All right? The same thing for getting married. Oh, society says you're supposed to get married and have kids. I don't want to get married or have kids. And guess what, guys? Is the human race going to continue on just fine if I don't create a life and put it in this wicked rat race of a world? Yes, it will go on just fine. So I'm okay to not get married or have kids, even if society tells me I'm supposed to. So it goes along with that too. Society tells me I'm supposed to choose a religion. I don't align fully with any of them. So I'm not religious. I'm not any of those organized religions. Society tells me I'm supposed to choose a political side. I don't fully align with either of them, and I don't like the divisive, fighting nature of it. Therefore, I'm out. I am not political, you know? And people are going to still label me somehow. They're going to be like, okay, well, you're an atheist and you're apolitical. I mean, whatever labels you want to slap on me, man, go ahead. Go ahead and put them on there. Go ahead. Asexual, atheist, apolitical, asshole, whatever you want to call me, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Just remember this at the end of the day. I respect people for their beliefs and their decisions in life, okay? So if you're not respecting mine, you would be the one that's in the wrong, because I respect you. I respect you. I love you as a fellow person. You have the free will to choose. You choose what you want, and that's your choice. And I still love you for it at the end of the day. I just hope that everybody out there can appreciate what I'm saying and love me for my choices and thinking on my own. So I hope that answered that question for you. And I hope people aren't just upset after. If you heard the whole answer, I hope you do understand. And just know, like I said, I understand and I accept everybody else's beliefs. So have a good rest of your day. I'm going to eat me some lunch now because I just finished my Wednesday tricep and back workout and it's lunchtime. And it is really hot outside again today, so I'm just going to stay cool. Maybe I'll see you guys later in another video. Take care and thank you for listening. And guys, love one another and please stay positive.